your seatbelts and prepare for an awesome experience. Showcasing the best of Jamaica's automotive culture.
Car culture is viewed as an expression of freedom, the quintessentially Jamaican desire to roam, ramble, and explore our vast country. But in fact, our freedom of movement is so restricted, we have come to see that rebelliousness as a bit hollow.
Hi, Doug Hollywood Gore. I'm a circuit racing driver for the last 28 years. I've been all over the world, raced in Japan, Mexico, United States, all over the Caribbean, and of course here in Jamaica. The culture that we have here in Jamaica is definitely one of different to anywhere that I've ever been in the world. When I come and tell people that people can actually go to all 8,000, 10,000 people when it comes to our races that we have at Dover, Jam West, they're like, really? I mean, as much of people as that? A lot of times when I've raced overseas, it is only really family and friends that are getting together. Of course, yes, you have the F1 and the NASCAR, which is a totally different scene. But when you talk about the type of racing that we're doing, we have such a huge culture right here. I mean, everything is just motorsports. One thing I'll definitely even tell you that I've noticed anywhere around the world is that we probably have the most cars with rims on it. Rims and little setup of exhaust and lowered cars and so on. I mean, just our car culture alone is absolutely massive compared to other places that I've been in the world. So yeah, Jamaica for sure is very, very unique when it comes to motorsports and also just the car culture itself.
One of the things I love about the Jamaican driving scene is that it's very welcoming. I mean, you do have the people, like in any industry, that can be very, they're not welcoming, but the majority of people are very welcoming and willing to give advice and willing to help you and want to see you succeed.
Though this has not been the case from the years ago, the culture has changed from a simple community to a competition between all parties involved. Those who no longer share ideas, but only the common goal of keeping the biggest secret.
Back in the heyday when motorsports was at its peak, especially like in Vernon Field, a lot of people took their Ford Escorts, their Angulas, their Hillman Hunters, that sort of thing, and actually made race cars out of them. They put in the literally black iron pipe and built a little roll cage in the cars, and even the Dover scene when the pocket rocket and so on, those were Minis and Mazda RX-7s, they all came to light because everybody was now buying their road cars now and fixing them up. If you notice now, things like the Radicals have now taken over Dover. These are purpose-built race cars out of England. They've definitely changed the automotive scene considerably. You're now buying purpose-built. Even the Audi that I bought in Germany, this was a purpose-built race car. So that is where the things have definitely changed tremendously over the years, is that you're now buying a car from literally a race car dealer. It's not like you went like in the old days of going and buying a Mitsubishi Evolution, putting in a roll cage and going out there and rallying or racing the car. So things have definitely changed, and a lot of people says, boy, did it change for the better? But there's one thing for sure, is that it definitely highlighted us to more of what the overseas brought to the world. We were able to actually see WRC cars here, DTM cars, Radicals right here on our shores, right here in Jamaica. So I think it's definitely a plus, and I think that it was quite awesome to see the transitions of motorsports that we saw here today.
In Jamaica, for securing sponsorship for competition has been quite difficult. I think sponsorships happen with who you know or come from who you know, and so if you have friends that have businesses that want to market their products, I think it's a good way it's a good opportunity to reach out to them and to get sponsorship from them, but it really starts from building a relationship.
Sponsorship is a struggle for each individual to represent themselves to the fullest, so a sponsor know what them definitely are investing in, them can see them return.
As young enthusiasts or individuals entering the competitive world, funding, and support are easily recognizable as the biggest fight to drive as Jamaican enthusiasts. Whether your fight is funding, personal development, or honing your skill in community, everyone has their fight to drive.
I've tried to do over the years is get corporate sponsors more involved in motor racing. Back in the elderly days, you asked a friend, hey, you could buy me 2 tires, and then you asked another guy, boy, buy me some gas. That was the consensus of sponsorship back in the old days. Now you're going to corporate sponsors like Wisinco, Miracle Corporation, who I actually use and have been part of their lives for many, many years. Things like Sharon Williams. You go to them now and you say, listen, what can I do for you? How can I make you relevant? Not really say me. One of the things that I did over the years is that I made Doug Hollywood. And by doing that now, the camera crews, the TV radio stations now, they would come to me. And of course, while I'm doing this interview now, I would now talk about my sponsors. I would now talk about the Wisincos and the Miracle Corporations of the world. Yeah, it's to stay relevant, that's the key importance of what I need to do as far as getting my sponsors. And they've been there forever. I have some sponsors now going on 20 odd years. And it's because every year when I go back to them and say, can I renew? They're always coming back to me and say, Doug, you're doing a fantastic job. We love what you're doing with the media. Let's go ahead for another year. So you still have the illegal drag racing that goes on both in Jamaica, both in, right here in Montego Bay, right here in Kingston. You have a little of that issue going on. Then you also have the different genres of the sport. You have the drag racing crew, you have the drifting crew, circuit racing, rally racing. It's more that let us all try and get together, let us all work together to make motorsports in general a better place. And I think that the more that the Jamaica Motoring Club gets more involved in trying to get all these genres together, it's all just better for the sport. Right now, I think everybody's kind of battling everybody, who's going to outdo everybody. But guess what? When it's all said and done, it's still motorsports. And I think that when you do look at it, as long as we're on the news, in the newspapers, as long as we're on the TVs, it's all publicity and it's all good publicity. So it's not too bad actually right now.
However, there are many enthusiasts in Jamaica who are willing to race on the track if it were to be more accessible, but they are not encouraged to take the necessary steps to become a licensed track driver as the requirements are too structured. Hence, they partake in street racing and late-night link-ups, whether to race for petty cash or bragging rights.
The licensing regime is quite arduous, and so the cost to get a license, and not only that, but the know-how to get a license to compete is quite hard. So I think one of the things that we need to try to work hard on is to clean up the licensing system, ensuring that it's clean and efficient for new competitors to come in.
And the expenses of the parts, so it's kind of hard for a man buy a car and then want to enter it and know say it costs a lot, but definitely you have to look at the time and patience. Definitely. Once you have that, you reach a far way.
With the licensing system adjusted and more relaxed for newbies, competitive sports will see a lot more variety of skills and the showcasing of new talents. This rise of new talent will come with the introduction of new sponsorship opportunities for enthusiasts to build on their personal brand and airtime to attract a new audience.
So we come back to corporate sponsorship again, and this is key. A lot of times when, even like yourself, you even told me today that you had asked a couple of other people, hey, I would like to come and interview you, and I said, well, I can't do it right now, and boy, I'm busy and that sort of thing. When you called me, immediately I said, hey, if we can plan a time, I'm here for you guys. And that is the key to this. If I don't try and keep myself relevant, if I don't ask the media houses to come and keep me relevant, and people like yourselves now to broadcast me, my career will end. So anytime that you guys come and say that you want to come and do an interview, I always try to make myself readily available. And it's only because I want to now actually push back to my sponsors and say to them, hey, I am doing something for you, and it's not just for Hollywood. So it's keeping yourself relevant is really the key to this whole thing. And that's what I tell a lot of new guys. You know, I was given the name Hollywood by chance, by a TV reporter on CVM, and it was literally a buck-up, and the name stuck. Actually, a lot of people think it's my middle name. But you know, it's been a good thing, because a lot of times if I put something to pen and paper, or I send an email to a company, they're going to look and say, oh, it's from Doug Gore. Oh, I know that guy. Okay, so they'll continue reading. The problem is that a lot of the newbies, the John Browns of today, is that they'll go now and they'll say, well, I want $1 million because I have a Corolla that I fix up, and it doesn't work like that. A lot of times you have to go to a sponsor and say, all right, I went to Sherwin-Williams, how I got started, and I said, listen, can I get some paint for my car? And they said, boy, you know, all right, you look like a trying young man. All right, we'll give you a little paint for your car. At the end of the year, I was able to show them that I was on the TV, I was doing all of these things, and I was actually showing them that, okay, just a little paint that they gave for my car, it actually worked out. In the end now, Sherwin-Williams actually starts to pay me money. So that's how they need to do it. You know, start little, show what you're made of, and then all of a sudden now you go along and you'll be surprised. A lot of the sponsors, they actually come to you. I remember when Adam Stewart came to me and said, hey, we want to put audio on the map here in Jamaica. And I said, all right, how are we going to do it? And he said, let's go buy a car. You know, he called me. So that's how it is, and that's how the newbies need to go out there and make themselves popular, but in a good way.
Although the aim is to secure sponsorship, it is important to understand that the initial investment in your brand will pay off, as you would have a competitive and reliable edge.
Well, definitely the parts, that's one, it's a major one. Other than that, the sponsorship, you need to get more sponsorship, and the government needs to get more recognized about it, because it's something that love and unity is involved in, and it brings a lot of people together in the motor world sports.
Hi, I'm Doug Gore.
I'm Akela Morgan.
My name is Andre Reynolds.
And I'm an automotive enthusiast.
And I'm an automotive enthusiast.
Automotive enthusiast.
I think one of the biggest advice I'll give people all the time is that you have to have good people around you. From you have good people around you, surrounding you, giving you good advice and giving you, setting you in the right path.
If you're not pushing the envelope, you'll never know how fast or how good you're going to be.